Hi, I'm Rich Wisneski. Welcome to Storytime.
Of the bananas.
So for today's story, we are going to take a trip back into my childhood. Now, I grew up in a family with 6 people. So we had 2 parents and 4 monsters that were my siblings and myself. My parents, they did the best that they could. I mean, sorry, Mom and Dad. But one of the hardest things to do with my dad working an overnight shift and my mom working during the day was finding a way to keep the 4 of us distracted in a non-destructive manner. One of the things that my parents did is they would rent videos from our local library. Now, while some of those videos were normal videos, there were also a couple that were insane. So I'm going to tell you about one of those videos that I think I remember watching as a kid, but it also could be a complete work of fiction that I'm just making up now. I'm not sure which. Let's explore! Okay, so our library had some weird tapes. I have a vague memory of watching a Birds and the Bees movie with full nudity and an on-screen sex scene. Also, I think genitals were introduced to us by a rubber duck. I'm also remembering a story of Aladdin that doesn't have Aladdin in it. Just some guy who accidentally finds a lamp without looking for it and makes all of his wishes randomly in one day, but gets a princess. Also, I think there's a bird that eats roofies. Not roofies. That's a very different kind of movie. A bird that eats rubies called a gagulfa, and I think Pokemon style he said gagulfa. Weird stuff. Now if there's one thing you need to know about young Rich, which is also true of current age Rich, I loved Disney's Robin Hood. Disney's Robin Hood was and is my jam. Fantastic movie, might be my favorite Disney movie. Fun fact, the awesome music at the beginning, So if you take that song and you speed it up, you get the hamster dance, There was a girl in Canada, Toronto I think, who was having a personal bet with a friend of hers about who could get likes in the early day of the internet or something like that. She had a gif of a dancing hamster with that sped up under it and somehow was able to sell that idea for thousands of dollars, a bit of notoriety, and I think has some kind of startup company from it, so good on her. So while looking for the very specific genre of red fox protagonists who steal from jerks who have failure henchmen, my parents came across a movie called The Little Fox. So The Little Fox, as my brain tells me I remember it, was the story of a little fox named Vic. Vic had a couple brothers and sisters and 2 cool parents. Kind of like the Fantastic Mr. Fox, but no pants. So, much like the Fantastic Mr. Fox, we're first introduced to Vic's dad. No idea what his name is. So that dude was stealing birds, eating birds, catching birds to feed his family. He says, everybody stay at home with your mom. Vic's like, not gonna do that. I'm rambunctious. And he goes out exploring, and the farmer and the dogs find the fox den. And if I remember correctly, in a children's movie, just straight up murder all the foxes. All foxes dead. Happy childhood! Yeah, combine this with Bambi, Snorks, Smurfs, Captain Planet, gummy bears. No wonder I think all humans are evil. Anyway, so Vic's father's brother, whose name was Carrack, I think? Carrack sounds right. He got an IM or something about the farmer massacre, and that same day he picks up Vic and takes him to his den, which I think is at the top of a mountain for some reason. I swear, I think this movie really happened. So Vic's first day there, his one life lesson that his parents taught him before dying of don't go out when adults tell you not to, Carrack says, hey, don't go out, I'm going to take a nap. And Vic's like, to heck with that, and goes exploring, and I think he falls down a mountain. Straight falls down a mountain. The mountain might be alive, too, but I think I'm confusing that with Adventure Time. So let's assume the mountain is not sentient. So Vic, a little fox cub who just lost his entire family to murder, climbs back up the mountain, and it takes all day, and then he just plays it off like it didn't happen, and I think doesn't tell his uncle. And also there's something about shining your eyes where cats don't have to and foxes have to, and the fox swears a blood oath to destroy the farmer and everything he holds dear. So while we're talking about blood oaths, okay, so as I remember correctly, there's like 13 antagonists in this movie. There's like the farmer, there's his dumb dog. I think the dumb dog has a legion of other dumb dogs. There's like this jerk crow that has a fatwa out against the fox. And then there's also this other like garbage fox. None of the bad guys are of any value. They don't accomplish anything. They pose no real threat. And there's this trope in this movie of these bad guys just giving these impressive evil monologues, and then nothing comes of it. Like, I think I remember the garbage fox monologue, like, word for word. So here's a dramatic reading of that. And of course, by reading, I'm doing this from memory.
If there's a weasel out there, it's you! I curse you now and forever, Karak! Stupid idiot! Dirty, low-down, no good! Toothless! Holier than thou! Arrogant!
And then, like, a bucket of water falls on his head or something, and he's done. And that's it. You never see him again. Dr. Doom level, speech on a mountaintop. To hell with this guy, we don't need him. Never comes back. And the whole movie is like that. Like, that jerk crow, he, like, hatches some kind of plan. His plan hits, like, one hiccup, and, like, all the farm dogs are like, nah, to hell with that crow. Hey, farmer, why don't you go shoot at that guy? And the crow's like, all right, whatever. I'm gonna leave. Any bad guy who makes any promise in this movie, you'll never see them again. It's insane. So, Vic, who, by the way, eats like a psycho. Like, they just do a cut scene, and, like, feathers fly everywhere, and then all of the food is eaten. He grows up. He eats a peacock, I think. He meets a lady fox that's in a trap. Although the farmer's like murdered every other fox, he keeps this one in a trap. And then, now that he's an adult, and I think Karak dies of old age, Vic decides it's time to make good on his murder promise. And he just starts eating all of the farmer's livestock and like somehow like breaking his machinery like Wolverine. Yeah, it's nuts. This, like, fox is just out to get this farmer, and he starts getting him. So, like, the farmer, like, comes up with this big trap to get him, but because he's a bad guy in this movie, it just blows up in his face. I think at the end of the movie, the farmer's, like, leg is broken, and, like, his dog is hurt, and I think he's, like, divorced. It's pretty awful. I don't even remember an end of the movie. It doesn't end on a sad shot of the farmer, does it? No, I think it ends, like, back in the original Fox Den, and Vic, like his parents before him, has a family as well, and there's, like, a little fox that's his kid that has the same animation that he did, and everyone laughs, and that's the end of the movie. A movie where lots and lots of creatures die on screen, including a whole family. I think the moral of the story is if someone wrongs you, continue to get back at them forever until they're utterly destroyed. I think that's the moral of this story. So basically a late 2000s WWE protagonist, but whenever this movie was made. So as far as I'm aware, that's the basic gist of The Little Fox, if it is a movie that actually existed. So feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Make a comment down in the comments section below if any of my story wasn't true, or if all of my story wasn't true. And using your comments and the Google, we'll find out next week how much this happened. So, for Storytime Sunday, I'm Rich Wisneski for To Karen with Love. This is a cat, his name is Fat, and I'll see you guys next week. By the way, just to show that I know where it is this time, the eye thing that you can click on to see other videos is that way. I'm almost certain it is.
Thank you kindly.
Guys, really now? I'm trying to make a video here.